Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm Connie Eitzen. I am chair of the Concert Series Committee. We want to welcome all of you attending today and all of those who are attending with us virtually. We're all in for a treat this afternoon with the return of the piano duo Stephanie Trick and Paolo Alderighi. After their concert, we invite you to a reception in the social hall where you can greet Stephanie and Paolo, and I'll bet you can purchase a CD there too for a memory. An offering will be taken tonight during the song Over the Rainbow. Now, it's not printed in your bulletin, but they will be talking about the songs. It's to support the concert, and the concert series is not a part of our church budget, although the office staff assists us with concert programs for which we're very grateful. We depend solely on patrons like you for donations. There's a QR code in your program, I think on page 3, the bottom, provided for your use, and an envelope for donations. We also hope you will provide your address and email so that we can notify you regarding upcoming concerts. And I noticed in the pews there is an envelope that says St. Mark's on it, so if you can notate concert series, if you put a donation in that envelope, that would be great. Then we have an upcoming fundraiser. In your program, you see this nice bright red That's Amore. It's going to be an Italian dinner and cabaret. And our choir director, Slav, is making the meal. It's going to have tiramisu for dessert, along with salad, garlic bread, and beverage, and it features lasagna made by Slav. So it's going to be a taste of Italy. If you'd like to come, please notify Millie McKibben, which is at the bottom of the page. Oops. At this time, would you please silence your phones? And when you leave St. Mark's tonight, be sure that you turn right from the parking lots because of the construction and the orange cones, and oftentimes a patrol car is sitting out there. Now I'd like to introduce our pastor, Pastor Darren Arntzen, for a word of prayer.
We're always grateful to host all of you for these concerts in our series. It's a wonderful thing for me as a pastor to be part of a church that welcomes the community for these kinds of events, and especially to make this kind of music and this kind of joy accessible. So I'm grateful that you're here, and I'm grateful to be part of it with you. It's part of our tradition to offer a prayer before our time of celebrating the guests that are with us, and so we know this is maybe interfaith crowd. So as you feel comfortable, we do invite you to pray. Gracious God, we are so grateful that you have prepared this space for us this day, that Stephanie and Paolo have been practicing and thinking about this time together, that we might truly be uplifted, that we might be encouraged, and that we might celebrate your goodness here in this place. May we take from this opportunity in community together that we may find joy in one another and in the harmonies that may be created with all of our hands working in cooperation. So bless us, we pray, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Now, piano duo Stephanie Trick and Paolo Alderighi. Please welcome them.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Connie. Thank you, Pastor Darren. It's always a real big pleasure to be back in San Diego and to play for you. We have a program with quite a number of new arrangements for you today. And I can't believe it's already February. I think like the year just started and we are already the second month. But every year we do our New Year's resolutions, and they sound a little bit like the same thing. I always say, like, I want to lose weight and do certain things. But anyway, there was one thing that Stephanie and I were talking about for this year with all the things that are going on that are sort of heavy. We really would like to have some good news. This is the wish that we have the most. So we are going to start with
a musical, a medley from a musical called Good News. And this is from 1927, and the music was written by a songwriting trio of De Silva, Henderson, and Brown. And they wrote many hot popular songs in the 20s and great musicals, and this is one of them. It was adapted for film in 1947, and that movie we saw a little while ago, and it features June Allison, Peter Lawford, and a young Mel Torme with a fun part in there. So we have 3 songs from the Good News, and hope you enjoy this medley. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good news. So we have something by the great Irving Berlin, who was a wonderful songwriter. He wrote both words and music to his songs, and he wrote over 1,000 songs, so he's quite prolific. And this is something from 1926. The story goes that Lawrence Hart and Richard Rodgers had written the music for a show called Betsy. And at the very last minute, the producer of the show, Florence Ziegfeld, had the idea of inserting one more song, but not by Lawrence and Richard Rodgers, but rather by Irving Berlin. So he asked Berlin to write a tune, and that tune became the hit of the show. So, but Berlin and Rodgers and Hart were still friends after that whole hullabaloo, and the song was Blue Skies.
Thank you very much for Blue Skies. We're going to play now a composition by the great George Gershwin, and this is actually the title song of a musical that he wrote music for in 1927. It's called Strike Up the Band.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So we were actually in Del Mar a couple weeks ago, and while we were there, we went to the harbor and didn't go inside the Midway, but we were close to it. And hopefully one day we'll get to visit the USS Midway. That's probably a very fascinating museum. And next to that, we saw the memorial to Bob Hope. And so we thought, well, he was such a great entertainer. We wanted to make a tribute to him. And of course, he's associated with one song in particular. And so maybe you'll remember this one from 1938, Thanks for the Memory.
2 months before, we were at a festival in Arizona, in Chandler, and we got to meet his son and became friends with his son. And then we drove to Palm Desert, and we were on the Bob Hope Drive. So we thought this is too much of a coincidence, so we should play Thanks for the Memory.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm alone here on stage, and so I thought I'd play a solo in the stride piano style. And this was a type of music that was very popular in the 1920s and 30s with pianists such as Fats Waller, James P. Johnson, Art Tatum started out playing stride piano and then kind of advanced from there. But stride piano was kind of the transitional point between ragtime and written marches and music that came before the 1900s and improvised jazz. So it's kind of this bridge between the two styles of music. And the term stride, is describing what the left hand does. And thanks to this great projection that Robin and Bob have put together, you can see a little bit of the stride piano action. And so it has to play a note in the bass and then come up for a chord in the middle range of the keyboard. And so the hand is never still for very long. And I'd like to play something that was kind of arranged by a great stride pianist. His name was Donald Lambert, and he was known as the Lamb, although he was anything but that. He had a ferocious left hand and made arrangements of classical melodies as well as pop tunes. And so this is something that I love to play, remembering him, and this is Edvard Grieg's Anitra's Dance. Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you. So Paolo and I love playing four hands on one piano, and when we have two, we can do both two piano and four hands. So wanted to make sure to play something in our four hands arrangements for you. And this is something that was debuted in a show called The Three Sisters in London's West End in, I think, 1933. And that show was a total flop. But the only saving grace for that show was that Fred Astaire was in the audience, and he heard a song in there that he liked. And he thought, okay, I'm going to use this for my next film, which was Roberta with Ginger Rogers. And that came out, I think, 1934 or 5. And the music was by Jerome Kern and Dorothy Fields, and we just couldn't resist making an arrangement of I Won't Dance.
Thank you very much for I Won't Dance. We're going to play now a little tribute to a great composer, Harold Arlen, without the H, Harold Arlen, sorry. And this is a little tribute with two songs. The first one of the most popular, most beautiful American songs, or popular songs, Over the Rainbow, introduced by a very young Judy Garland. She was 17 years old when she sang this in The Wizard of Oz. And it's incredible if you listen again to that version. It seems like this person has sung the song for decades because of the maturity, the depth she's singing. But she was just a teenager introducing this song to the rest of the world, and that's sort of explains why Judy Garland was such a great artist. And the second piece we'll do together is a less known composition of Arlen. It's called Happy as the Day is Long, and we think that is the right time because every day after the 21st of December, every day becomes a little longer. We made a mistake. When I announced this, we were in Australia, and I didn't realize it goes backwards there. They go shorter and shorter. So I think we are in the right hemisphere now to play Happy as the Day is Long.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So we've got something to remember, one of the most popular dance bands of the 30s and 40s, and that was an outfit called Glenn Gray and the Casa Loma Orchestra. So we've got two songs. The first one was written by the pianist Frankie Carl, and that was Sunrise Serenade. And the second one's a bit faster. It's called Casaloma Stomp. And so we're going to try to remember this band that played so tightly together, all of the members really fitting in with each other. And we'd like to dedicate it to our special friend, Rocky. Thank you very much. Now something to remember Vera Lynn, who was a British singer, pop singer, and had many hits during World War II, and this is a beautiful one that came out, her recording of it came out in 1942, and we have this arrangement, and Paolo made a special part at the end, which I really love playing. So this is, There'll Be Bluebirds Over the White Cliffs of Dover. Thanks so much. Thank you. So we love playing here at St. Mark's, and it's a beautiful sanctuary. We had the pleasure of being here this morning during the morning service, and being there for that, listening to the choir, which inspired us. And we wanted to play a little hymn medley for you. The first one is "His Eye is on the Sparrow." Ethel Waters did a wonderful rendition of that some years ago. And then this morning we heard the choir do their version of "This Little Light of Mine." And so we wanted to do a jazzy version, a little bit of a bluesy version of that. So hope you enjoy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you. So we've got one more number for you, and before we play that, we wanted to thank some wonderful people who've made it possible for us to be here today. First of all, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it, love seeing you, and hope you've had some fun this afternoon, enjoyed yourselves. Actually, before I get into the thanks, I wanted to mention that we'll be in San Diego this week, and we'll have another performance on Moreno Boulevard, and that will be at Dizzy's Jazz Club, and it will be a different repertoire. We'll be doing some songs to celebrate Black History Month, and so there is a lot to celebrate with jazz and Black history. So a lot of great tunes by Duke Ellington, Fats Waller, Count Basie, Ella Fitzgerald, Lena Horne. So join us if you're interested. That's Thursday at 8 p.m. at Dizzy's Jazz Club, and this video, the audio, has been made possible by Bob Hout and Robin Nussbaum. Thank you so much for setting all of this up. And from the minute we walked in, just feel so welcomed by the congregation, especially Pastor Darren, and she's been wonderful to us. So many thanks to her, and I don't know if she's still here or had to slip out, but also many thanks to our wonderful friend Connie Eitzen, who is the head of this concert series. Thank you, Connie. Thank you very much. It's wonderful what you do, and some good friends and generous people. We had to thank Dick Prince, Brad Cannon, and for supporting this concert. Thank you so much. Thank you for your generous sponsorship, and also to all the sponsors who make it possible for this concert series to happen. That's just great, and really our heartfelt thanks to a wonderful couple who has brought us here years ago and just has introduced us to a lot of this hymn repertoire and wanted to present the two pianos here at the church and have been wonderful hosts to us over the years, Charles and Vanita Ballinger. Thank you so much. So we've got a medley from one of my favorite musicals. I'm from St. Louis, so maybe you can guess my favorite musical. It could be, and it is Meet Me in St. Louis. So I introduced that to Paolo, and he liked it. You liked it? The Italian liked Meet Me in St. Louis. So we're going to play 3 songs from this great show. It came out in 1944 and, of course, featured Judy Garland again, introducing some great tunes. And the first song in our medley is Meet Me in St. Louis, which was a period song from the early 1900s. And then we'll go into The Boy Next Door and close things out with the Trolley Song.
I would like to especially thank the ones of you that will buy our CDs at the end. They will be in the social hall there, and next to the CDs there are some flyers of our YouTube channel. So we have a YouTube channel where we post our new arrangements. We film them at home. We have a nice Steinway piano there and film them at home, and we are gathering fans. There is a little postcard that gives you the directions to how to reach our YouTube channel, and the subscription is for free. You just have to press the subscribe button, while the CDs are not for free. Thank you. Thank you for your spontaneous request for an encore. We weren't prepared for it. Well, I'm gonna start something here.